Every Tom, Dick and Harry is nowadays filing a PIL on every issue.
So what is a PIL?
They are backed and sponsored by some corporate if it is a matter related to public interest. तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट के जज के पास टाइम कहाँ मिलेगा बाकी केस सॉल्व करने का?
When the nation calls, knowledge answers. Welcome to Chai with Current, your one-stop destination for civil services strategy, current affairs and mentorship that matters. Today, we bring you insights from someone whose pen has shaped public opinion for decades, whose mentorship has mentored hundreds of UPSC aspirants. It's wonderful to introduce Mr. Sutanu Guru, a veteran journalist, author, and a teacher with over 40 years of experience in institutions like the Times of India, the Economic Times, and the India Today Group. So let's dive into this exclusive session where we decode the changing dynamics of India.
Thank you so much, Rupali, and wonderful to have you. Young friends, the name itself is suggestive and clear. Chai with Current, it means current affairs. The tagline is cracking the GS challenge. So our aim is to help you with the general studies papers in all civil services exams. We are not an organized coaching center and we will not be. However, we will be a force multiplier, if you use that jargon, and our primary aim is to provide historical context and perspective into news, current affairs, developments, issues and controversies that often appear as questions in the GS papers. And it's very important for you to have that historical perspective because you gain fresh insights. What do I mean by historical perspective? मेरे ख्याल से आप लोग जितने सिविल सर्विसेज की अभी तैयारी कर रहे हैं, लगभग मेजॉरिटी, ह्यूज मेजॉरिटी आप लोग शायद 21वीं सदी में ही पैदा हुए हैं. सो आप ना अपने पेरेंट्स के पास जाइए, एल्डर्स के पास जाइए एंड आस्क देम द फॉलोइंग क्वेश्चंस. व्हेन यू वर born, were your parents using smartphones? When you were born, were your parents enjoying access to high-speed internet? When you were born, were your parents making digital payments and transactions? When you were born, were your parents enjoying music shows and other shows on YouTube? And when you were born, were your parents spent hours every day on various social media platforms? The answer is obviously no. So just imagine, young friends, in just about 25 years or less, how dramatically India and the world has changed. So every news event that happens even today, or any current affairs activity or controversy that occurs today and is asked in a GS mains paper, it is related to some historical perspective, and that is what we aim to provide. And friends, do remember this: being better informed, no matter eventually what career you adopt, being better informed increases the chances of success in your life and your career.
So let's start this episode, and today we are going to discuss about the PIL which is being registered in the Supreme Court. So what is a PIL?
Well, I think about a year or 2 years ago, there was a question in the GS paper that the Supreme Court of India entertains a lot of PILs, and the second part of the question was, does it mean that the Supreme Court of India has become the most powerful Supreme Court in the world? So what is a PIL? PIL is very simple: public interest litigation. Okay, so any citizen of India can file a PIL in Supreme Court if she or he or an organization thinks that there is some element of public interest involved. Okay, so it is very simple. In theoretical terms, any citizen of India can file a PIL and the Supreme Court can entertain that. Now there is a historical perspective to that again. And once again, Rupali, like we had discussed in the previous episode on judiciary, the behavior of the Supreme Court during the emergency was not particularly great. You know, the Supreme Court completely failed to uphold basic freedom and liberty of Indian citizens during the emergency. And one of the judges was a very famous judge called Justice Bhagwati. Okay. So till then, the concept of PILs did not exist in India. तो emergency के बाद जब Supreme Court suddenly rediscovered its spine and tried to make amends for what it did between 1975 and 77, एक पुराना इंटरव्यू था जिसमें the late Justice Bhagwati had said कि yes, हमने as Supreme Court judges we all collectively made a mistake. We should have resisted the emergency. So in a way to atone for that and to give more service to the common Indian citizen, we started accepting public interest litigation from all citizens. And that is how the concept of PIL started. Basically, any citizen can file in Supreme Court if it is a matter related to public interest.
Well, sir, from a survey we have known that about average 25,000 plus PIL has been registered per year in India. So, isn't it too much?
Absolutely, Rupali, it is too much because, look, the primary role of the Supreme Court is to uphold the Constitution and also ensure that the constitutional guarantees like freedom of speech, liberty, freedom of activity, association, political behavior, everything is maintained in a democracy. But what has happened is that initial stages, late 70s, early 80s, there were genuine people who filed PILs because India is a vast and diverse country and there are many instances of social injustice and prejudice and discrimination. तो उस जमाने में जब PIL फाइल होते थे, there was definitely a method to this madness. There was some element of genuine need, whether it is sex ratio in Haryana, whether it is destruction of forests in Uttarakhand, whether it is illegal sand mining in some place in Madhya Pradesh or Gujarat. So they were genuine. But gradually what happened was that, like we had discussed in the case of our episode on the NGOs. So it started with genuine NGOs, then it became a proper full-fledged business kind of activity. तो जैसे मैंने आपको बताया था कि काफी एनजीओ ऐसे हैं जो कॉर्पोरेट इंटरेस्ट को सर्व करते हैं. ऑन पेपर दे सर्व द पुअर बट एक्चुअली दे आर बैक्ड एंड स्पॉन्सर्ड बाय सम कॉर्पोरेट. Something similar has happened to PIL because every Tom, Dick and Harry is nowadays filing a PIL on every issue. For instance, there was a PIL in Supreme Court कि केंद्रीय विद्यालय में या और किसी स्कूल में तमसो माँ या other Sanskrit chants in school is not secular, so it should be banned. There was a PIL on something related to cow slaughter. There was a public interest litigation कि जन्माष्टमी के टाइम जब बॉम्बे में पुणे में तो दही हांडी होता है कि it is unsafe and it should be banned and Supreme Court intervened. There was a PIL कि साबरीमला में menstruating ladies are not allowed, it is unconstitutional, Supreme Court intervened. There was a PIL on stray dogs recently, Supreme Court intervened suo moto. So what is happening is that, like we discussed in that previous episode on judiciary, I told you that the United States Supreme Court refuses to take more than 100 cases per year. It point blank refuses because it is the Supreme Court of United States and it handles only constitutional issues. But आप सोचिए अगर 25,000 PIL हर साल फाइल हो रहे हैं तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट के जज के पास टाइम कहाँ मिलेगा बाकी केस सॉल्व करने का, which is why we have 90,000 pending cases in just the Supreme Court and 55 million pending cases in all courts in India. So definitely yes, there are too many PILs being filed and there are lobbies, corporate interests, vested interests, and others who are too busy in filing these PILs. And every activity, everything in India is now under scrutiny because of PIL.
Well, sir, we have seen the power of separation between the judiciary, the executive, and the legislature in so many other democracies. But what about India? Is it following it?
Well, largely, Rupali, you can say that we are following that as a healthy democracy, but of late, there are many legal scholars, because we are not judicial experts, we cannot comment on the higher judiciary. But yes, there are many legal scholars who have followed the law for decades, are of the opinion that the Supreme Court is stepping into areas which it should not. In the sense, the Supreme Court is now doing things which the executive and the legislature should be doing. मैं आपको एक एग्जांपल देता हूं, जैसे कि अभी रिसेंटली वो केस सुप्रीम कोर्ट में अभी भी चल रहा है. Governors are a very controversial figure in India nowadays for the last 4 decades or so. So governors are usually appointed by the ruling party at the center. तो अगर स्टेट में कोई ऑपोजिशन की पार्टी इज एट इन पावर, देन यूजुअली द गवर्नर एंड दैट लोकल रूलिंग पार्टी they have problems, and the governors, what they do is they often stop a bill which is passed in the state assembly, because any bill passed in the state assembly first needs the governor's assent, and the governor can send it to the president also. तो तमिलनाडु में बहुत ज्यादा हो रहा था, तो PILs were filed and many PILs have been filed for many years. तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट का एक वर्डिक्ट आया कि गवर्नर एंड द प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ इंडिया हैज टू डिसाइड within 3 months, 90 days, whether that bill is to be accepted or not, and you cannot sit on that bill. You either deny or you accept and sign and authorize the bill. Now there was a lot of anger over that, because that Supreme Court verdict came without even consulting the president. The Supreme Court did not even bother to ask the government of India ki what is the President of India's views. And the President of India is the Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces and the constitutional head of India. It is the President who gives the oath of office to Supreme Court judges and the Prime Minister. So there have been many such cases where this separation of powers का थोड़ा सा imbalance हो रहा है. For instance, let's take the abrogation of Article 370. जम्मू कश्मीर में था वो, it was specific only to Jammu Kashmir, and many felt that Article 370 and Article 35A, they had actually encouraged separatism in Jammu and Kashmir. So in 2019, the government of India via the parliament passed a constitutional amendment bill which abrogated Article 370. And it was duly passed properly in a democratic manner with a 2/3 majority. But there were dozens and dozens of PILs filed against that particular act of parliament, and Supreme Court took years and years to decide. Now many legal scholars are saying that if the parliament, without flouting the constitution, has passed a bill, who is the Supreme Court to again act on it? So there are questions being raised over Supreme Court possibly overreaching itself. और मैंने वो पहले एपिसोड में भी आपको बताया था about Nupur Sharma. Her life is still under threat. She might get killed because she ostensibly offended the Muslim community because of some remarks. And rather than protecting her, as many people in the right wing say, the Supreme Court harshly and in a very, very harsh tone rebuked her. And there was no need for that. So yes, there are many questions being asked that the Supreme Court is overreaching. And do remember, प्रीवियस एपिसोड में हमने ये भी डिस्कस किया था कि बिकॉज ऑफ द कोलेजियम, आप पहले एपिसोड में देख लीजिएगा, कोलेजियम का मतलब होता है कि ओनली द चीफ जस्टिस ऑफ इंडिया एंड 4 जजेस डिसाइड who will be the high court judge and who will be a Supreme Court judge. So yes, that debate is going on in India.
Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable inputs. So stay tuned with this episode of Chai with Current that takes you beyond news and current affairs into deeper insights. And don't forget to like, subscribe and share.
Thank you so much, Rupali. And young friends, let me repeat again and again, the better informed you are, the higher the chances of success in your career and your life.
Thank you.